Chiefs Kingdom, how are we feeling? That was one wild Monday night football game to cap off the week. It feels like that Raiders-Chiefs rivalry is renewed. We're going to get into my instant reaction right about now. But before we do that, please be sure to subscribe to the channel and like this video, as I'm going to keep you up to date on anything Kansas City Chiefs related that you do not want to miss out on. And without further ado, let's have some fun. Man, this game was everything you could ask for. Heartache, heartbreak, fell in love again. Everything you needed in the game, you got. And man, from the beginning is when the heartbreak begun, because the Raiders looked for real and they were giving it to us early, going up 17-0. And it seemed like the Kansas City Chiefs just couldn't get anything right. Offensively, they weren't doing anything good. Throughout the whole game, we couldn't stop the run for shit. Jacobs had his best game of his career. And that was one thing I was concerned about coming into this game, was if we don't stop the run, the Raiders will have a huge day. And they did. And they had a huge day offensively, like crazy. It's like we couldn't stop Adams. We couldn't stop Jacobs. And they were just going berserk. We got lucky that Waller ended up with the injury. I don't know the severity of that. I was too in-depth on the game. I was just like, thank you. Just take another weapon out. Not thank you because he was hurt, but we were having our times just struggling stopping this team. Now, the defense was inconsistent. They had their moments where they shined and they looked magnificent. But one thing that really got me in the beginning and really just irked my soul was that first drive, that first touchdown drive that the Raiders had, was the Chiefs were there. They were making plays. They just didn't finish the plays. It's like the first initial guy there, you're like, ooh, good solid hit. And then the hit didn't mean nothing. And then they just kept going and going and going. And it was so unfortunate to see. And then the two huge PIs that I think set up the second touchdown with Fenton and then, I almost said Williams, Watson. Watson, I think, was in a very, very unfortunate position. Like, what are you going to do there? Like, even if he turned his back, Adams is still tugging him back. I think it was a PI on both sides, if you want to say, or don't call it at all. Fenton's Fenton. Right now, I'm getting really tired of him being out there, and I think next week, hopefully we get both rookies and McDuffie and Watson out there, and Watson covers the number 2. And we get to see if McDuffie could put the clamps on Stephon Diggs, because we are going to need it next week. Next week, there is not no falling behind by 17 points, because the Bills are going to give us their best shot. We already know this matchup is basically Tyson versus Holyfield. You're going to want to get your popcorn ready, because these teams are going to be throwing their best shots, so Kansas City has to be prepared. And early on in this game as well, the offensive line was not prepared. Chandler Jones was having his day against Orlando Brown Jr., and I'm just like, boy, if you don't step up at all this game, you gonna be a backup on another team at this point. You do not look like a good left tackle. Like, let's get it together. And Andrew Wiley, too. He struggled with Crosby, but at the end of the day, Crosby is a stud. Anybody is going to struggle with him. So that is also, they're former teammates, but it's something you expect. And also, the line got better. And I think the line got better with the unfortunate play that got all of Chiefs Kingdom livid, got the whole NFL media livid, and it's the roughing the passer play on Chris Jones. And yes, I skipped to it because I am still heated about it. Even when we win, I am still heated because that is just so inexcusable. I don't care if it's the rule or what. And if it is, like, if you watch the play, like, you're on two eyes and you're on the field seeing it, you could tell Jones literally tried to fall on him gently. Strip sack, has the ball in his hand. What do you want the dude to do? There is nothing he can do in that situation. And it's so funny because usually that's the type of play that breaks a team. And that's when a rout could have happened by the Raiders. So different, and you gotta appreciate Chiefs Kingdom. I know the Kansas City Chiefs love Chiefs Kingdom because that crowd got so rowdy and it just boosted the whole energy, and you could tell, oh, this is gonna be a run. And that's what happened from there. The Raiders just couldn't withstand anything that this offense was doing after that. And like I mentioned, it's crazy to see. Usually those are like deadly penalties that will kill a team because they know they can't do anything right. But when you hear the boo birds coming out of Chiefs Kingdom, and loud and loud and loud, and even when the offense came on the field, even when Matt Wright, when he kicked a 59-yard field goal, which we'll get into him later because he was very inconsistent, but he bombed a 59-yard field goal before half, which I even tweeted was like, there's no way in hell this kid making it. And he made it. Like, one of the few kicks he made. But it was very, like, we needed it at the end of the day. And the Boo Birds were even out then, and you're just like, I was loving seeing it. I'm like, let them know, Kingdom. Let them know. Like, the refs shouldn't be doing this. We had that ass call against the Falcons on Brady, and now they do it again. Like, they just got to get this right. I know we're trying to make this, like, a safer league and all that, but they're still playing football. Like, there was no way injury was going to happen there. There was no way Jones was going to hurt him. Like, he literally did everything he could to get a good sack, strip, fumble, and then you take it away from him. You're taking the fun away out of the game. Come on. Let's get serious with that. But let's talk about this offense a little bit. And let's talk about my predictions actually a little bit. Because if you guys didn't check it out, I'm sorry I unfortunately couldn't get a video out, which I got a new camera, so hopefully that's working very well too. It's connected to a mic, so hopefully that's working out very well too. We will find out. I'm kind of nervous about it because I spent good money, so hopefully this is all good. But I left a poll for you guys to decide, and we're going to discuss it right here. George Karlaftis, the man got his sack. We're 1 for 1 there. Now, I said Sky Moore would get his first touchdown. He didn't, but he came in late and came in clutch in the game too, and I love to see it. And it's just starting to triculate him more into this offense. Those screen passes just help gel him and get that chemistry together. He is bound to get more plays, and he is bound to go off here. I think he's going to have one game where he's going to be like, that's why you got the kid. And he just looks really good with the ball in his hands. Now, one I was completely wrong about, but I can't be too mad about it either because I predicted the wide receivers were going to go off. And in a sense, they kind of did because MVS, birthday boy, had 90 yards. He looked really good. Right now, he's looking like the best wide receiver on this team. McCole Hardman, even with the hurt heel, his stats shouldn't be an underlier either. He had like 5 catches for over 70 yards. And then Juju was your third receiver, which I said he'd be your leading receiver and get his first touchdown. Juju, he actually played really well for the catches he got. He is a big physical guy. I think it is a matter of time before the kid goes off. But my number one prediction, all of Chiefs Kingdom could agree with me on this, is we knew Mahomes was going after Aikman's record. We knew, not record, but his overall career stat, and he passed it. And in the beginning, it didn't look like it was going to happen because the Raiders were forcing pressure like crazy. But the guy got 4 touchdowns, and all 4 touchdowns went to Travis Kelce. And can we just talk about Kelce a little bit? Can we actually just appreciate him? I know Chiefs Kingdom we do, and we love him like crazy, but after the Ravens game, and it's just unfortunate to see. It's just like everyone wants to basically anoint the new tight end, and we have never heard anyone say Travis Kelce is the best out there besides when Chiefs Kingdom says it. And now people are raving about Mark Andrews. Travis Kelce put his stamp. Yeah, he may have only had 25 yards, but he had 4 touchdowns, and he, like the announcer, like Aikman said, it's like, or Buck, you can know where it's going to. You could cover him. He's like Cooper Kupp. He is going to get the ball, and he is going to score. And that is a prime example of this game. He was a Raider killer, and he will always be a Raider killer. And the Raiders will never find a way to stop him. Yeah, 25 yards, cool. You think, oh, damn, bad day at the office. But when you realize 4 of those catches were touchdowns, and you're like, what are we doing wrong here? But this game got crazy and got alive in the 3rd and 4th quarter. The Chiefs defense, like I mentioned, very inconsistent. Like, they had really good plays. They never really stopped Josh Jacobs. I don't want to say never. I feel like Josh Jacobs found ways to run against this defense. When he ran up the middle, the Chiefs were doing their things. When he broke it outside the perimeters, he was a bowling ball, and we struggled to tackle him. And then the other guy was Davante Adams. Davante Adams went nuts. It's like you just couldn't get a right guy to cover him. And like I mentioned, coming into this, I thought it was going to be Snead on Renfro, Watson on Adams, and then Fenton on Waller, but Waller left early, and then you're just like, well, what do you do here? It was like a rotation, and none of the rotations seemed to work, and the best coverage on the night was Renfro on Adams. Thank you, because I thought the game was over. You cannot tell me. Chiefs Kingdom, I know we got to stop, and specifically myself, when this team goes down with Mahomes as quarterback and down 17-0, it's just like, it's hard to get yourself out of that. I've been a Chiefs fan my whole life, so I don't know if that'll ever go away, but I will never doubt Mahomes. I will doubt the team. I definitely will. I will doubt when we're going against refs. I definitely will do that. When everything seems to be going wrong, it's hard to believe, but Mahomes gives us the faith. But that last play was just crazy because when you see everyone running to each other, you're like, even when it's like that, and it's just a collision. You never know. The refs can easily throw a flag. And that's not even what I was concerned about. I was concerned about, I think it was Bolton, when he drilled Carr. I'm like, that is a damn roughing the passer call. They got 15 yards. I was surprised a flag wasn't thrown there. I'm going to need you guys to rewatch the play and not rewatch Renfro and Adams running into each other. Watch, I think it's Bolton just drilling Carr, and it looks like a roughing the passer. And it probably isn't, but you just never know in today's day and age. With Chris Jones barely getting that whack-ass roughing the passer, you never know. And also, too, Jones got a very unfortunate, no call hold. Like, grabbing his jersey, ripping him around right in front of the ref. Like, Jones had an easy sack. It's like, what did Jones do to these referees that they just don't want him to get to the quarterback? It's ridiculous. It's insane what's going on. But overall, this was a very, very exciting game. First game without CEH getting a touchdown. He almost had one. Thought he did. This wasn't his type of game to be running for. So the CEH haters, I'm ready for you to be alive and proud and cheer for Pacheco and McKinnon. McKinnon, he was the one who actually got this all started when he had that beautiful 20-yard run, and he was dragging all 11 guys of the Raiders on his back. You just love to see it. I think that's where, again, I'm going to mention this week in and week out with the Chiefs running game. When you notice CEH is struggling, or if he's not having success against this team, keep McKinnon in or test Pacheco out, or vice versa too. Because on that last drive, when you gave that short dump-off run to CEH on 3rd and 3, well, no, we're going to get into that. On 2nd and 3, and then he doesn't get it. It's just like, Pacheco or McKinnon might make a move, and then I just got livid. I'm like, I know it's Mahomes, and I know you're just never going to get it out of him. But when he goes for that dagger for Hardman on 3rd and 3, I'm just like, dude, you just needed 3 yards. Now, I understand if it was completed, I'd have been completely different. I'd be like, yeah, that's my quarterback. That's what you're doing. That's why we got this. But 3 yards, play positional, definitely. With Hardman hobbling, and which is weird too, he was hobbling after a huge catch and then comes back and then takes a reverse. So I don't know if that was playing injured or whatever, but we know his heel was bothering him. But then, I don't know. It's not something I would have tested. I would have just picked up the 3 yards. Definitely when you saw the Raiders just scored a touchdown on this defense too, don't go too aggressive, but be aggressive enough to fight for the sticks and get the win. Very, very interesting game. A huge divisional game you needed. You won 2 divisional games early on against the Chargers, and now the Raiders dropped to 1-4. That is huge too, because if the Raiders, this could have changed so quickly. If the Raiders were 2-3 and the Chiefs were 3-2, this division is still up for grabs. I'm not saying it's not, but it's good to be 4-1 at this point, specifically when you got a huge game against the Bills next Sunday, which I do not want to focus on right now. Guys, I almost had a heart attack. You think I want to think about Josh Allen running over this defense and throwing bombs with Gabe Davis and Stephon Diggs? Let me have a break. We're going to do a recap on this game tomorrow, more in depth. This was my reaction. And then we're going to dive into the Bills game because, like I mentioned, this is Holyfield. This is Tyson. You better get your tickets ready. You better get your popcorn ready. See, I'm struggling on my words. I am too hype right now. But what a game, Chiefs Kingdom. You let me know how you were feeling throughout this crazy game. I'll let you know. Roller coaster of emotions. Most of it, I was down. Then second half, we got going. Actually, I think I got up when it's, like I said, it's so crazy. When a Chris Jones penalty like that happens, that will kill a lot of people. But Chiefs Kingdom, you did your thing in Arrowhead tonight. When those boo birds came in, when you guys were shouting bullshit to the refs, man, that was amazing. I was there cheering with you through my TV, and I was hoping everyone could hear it. And that's just what livened the crowd up. That's what livened the Kansas City Chiefs players, and that's what got us back in the game. Crazy enough as it sounds, a penalty like that can kill teams, but it makes the Kansas City Chiefs. The Kansas City Chiefs are big winners, 30-29 over the Las Vegas Raiders. With that, Chiefs Kingdom, I am checking out. Leave your comments down below, and we're going to discuss. We're going to have fun. Please do subscribe to the channel and like this video because you already know I'm going to check back in with y'all tomorrow, and we're going to have fun. With that, y'all take care. Peace.